going on, everyone? As always, he's Dave.
He's Dave.
This is the Sports Rant, New York style. So we're going to kick it off real quick. College football weekend. A lot of good games.
Big weekend for college football. Michigan took care of Penn State, which we all knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, but that was just a blowout.
Yeah, it was a monkey stomping. But, I mean, they're a good team. Jim Harbaugh finally got the boys playing.
Got him playing, got himself a quick QB.
Yes, about time. And the defense is ridiculous. Defense is ridiculous. But we know the big game.
Of course, Bama and LSU. The hype. Number 1 versus number 3.
Yeah.
And
that
God damn.
That was it. It was unwatchable after
29-0.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I'll be one of the first people to say that Alabama really wasn't tested all season until this meeting. You really couldn't get a clear gauge on their defense. Mm-hmm. Well, LSU won net yard rushing the entire game.
That's insane. I
think it's pretty safe to say, barring any sort of miracle by any other team right now, it's probably going to be Alabama and Clemson. Alabama's winning a championship again.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know what Nick Saban says to these people when he comes in their home, but everybody who's anybody wants to go there.
Yeah.
And you could tell they're competitors because they know another blue chip person is there at their position.
And these kids want to go to a winning program. You can't blame them for that.
Can't blame them.
Okay.
Can't blame them.
At the end of the day, as we said, 29-0. Couple other key games. You had Clemson at Louisville. That was just ridiculous. Louisville.
That was the 77-16. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Jesus.
And the fact that you had the head coach of Louisville saying we competed for what? Yeah. Pie eating contest?
They trying to get him out of there.
Oh, big time. Better.
Because he has all his family working there and they never coached anything.
Have no experience. That's utterly ridiculous. And the fact that the athletic director would even allow that, in my opinion, he should go too.
Amen to that.
Okay. And then, of course, Notre Dame and Northwestern. I told you Northwestern, although Notre Dame did come out of that game on top,
you were right.
Northwestern gave them a challenge and a half.
You were right.
Okay. They didn't secure that win until the fourth quarter.
Right.
So big ups on the Wildcats of Northwestern. But, of course, Notre Dame, of course, is now 8-0. You know I'm sporting it. I got to.
You do know what's going to happen when you get to the playoffs.
Yes, right? I do know.
Okay.
But I'm going to ride it for as long as I can. Okay?
Right, no doubt. Listen. By all means.
All right. So now we got the latest rankings out this past Tuesday. I'm a little mixed on this one. So, of course, there's hardly any change up top. Bama, Clemson, 1 and 2, as they should be. Notre Dame and the Michigan Wolverines move up to 3 and 4, respectively. Georgia, Oklahoma, 5 and 6. LSU. That was just a bad loss.
Who do you think should be above them?
I personally think Washington State should have moved up to 7.
They playing Pac-12 ball. That's not even football, basically. If Washington State played anybody, let's say they played Kentucky, okay, they would get blown out by 50.
You're probably right. But you know what? At the end of the day, I also look at the record. Okay? And the record shows me 2 losses. At the very least, even though I think they shouldn't be in the Final Four when everything is said and done, depending on what happens with that last matchup of the year, Michigan, Ohio State, if anything, should have jumped into that 8th spot.
Beat by Purdue. Purdue is horrible. You gotta look at they look at all of these factors. You know the strength of schedule, who beat them, when they got beat. You know they lost to Alabama. Alabama's been railroading everybody.
Yeah,
they railroaded them. Now, if you tell me that LSU needs to be like 10 or something like that, I could maybe abide by that. But I don't really have a problem with them being number 7. It's not like they're going to the championship game.
No, they're not.
It's not like they're going to the championship game. So.
Well, we'll see what happens going forward. But definitely we're looking at Bama and Georgia once again, an SEC title game.
Right.
Barring a miracle, Alabama's going to win the SEC title. Now, here's an interesting thing.
Yeah, Georgia ain't beating them.
If on the very, very slim nano fraction of a chance that Georgia does beat Bama, Bama's still getting into the national title picture.
Right.
Okay, so here's my question. You got Clemson, you got Notre Dame, you got Michigan. Let's see those three teams win out the year.
Right.
Someone's getting left out.
Between who?
If Georgia beats Alabama in the SEC title.
Georgia's going to get left out.
You think Georgia would get left out of college football playoffs?
I think so. Because why wouldn't they? If Notre Dame is undefeated.
Well, see, here's the thing. Georgia's number 5 right now.
Right.
I'm saying, let's say these teams win out. Okay?
All 5 of them.
All 5 of them win out.
Okay.
Okay? Georgia beats Bama at the end of the year in the SEC title. Very slim chance, but it could happen.
Right.
Because anything happens on any given day.
Right.
Bama's still getting into the national title picture.
They should, because they're the best team in college
They
football.
are the best team.
Right.
That Georgia would write their ticket into the college football playoffs. So then what do you do at the current Clemson, Notre Dame, and Michigan situation? Someone's getting left out of those 3 characters.
I think you're leaving Georgia out. I'm telling you. I think they're gonna leave Georgia out.
I think you have an uprising.
Of course. That will push them to do an 8-game playoff.
As it should be.
As it should be.
As it should be. Because, I think right now you got a case for, just record-wise, okay, University of Central Florida is making their push being undefeated. Does that mean they're going to win a title? No. But they've made their case to be represented. There are other teams in the country that are undefeated. Maybe not have had a strong schedule, let's say Notre Dame or even, for this case, Michigan. But they too should have their chance, their say to say, okay, we can make it in one of those 8.
Agreed.
Okay.
I don't like South Florida or Central Florida because they taking all of Miami's players and going undefeated.
Yeah, well, Miami needs to concentrate more on football and less about the turnover chain. Anyway.
I'll shut the fuck up now.
So, moving on. We had a huge weekend in the NFL with nothing less.
Oh, no. Hold on. Before we go there. Alabama's losing to Mississippi State. You heard it here first. So all of that's going to be null and void. Let's continue. You heard it here first. Alabama's getting monkey stomped by Mississippi State. Yeah, the Bulldogs. They're going to take it to them. We can move on now.
We'll see there. So again, big weekend in National Football League. Starts off with, of course, New Orleans versus the Rams.
Awesome game.
That was a huge game. Anyone who watched it, you saw offense on another level. Okay, first of all, Drew Brees making his case to still be considered an elite quarterback even at the age of 39. You can put him up there with the likes of Tom Brady. Okay, Brady has more championships, but if Brees would have been in a better situation, or you switch those roles, Brees is in Brees is in New England. Come on, it's the same turnout.
Bree was in New England or Peyton Manning was in New England, they'd have more championships than Tom Brady. You heard it here second.
But getting back on the game, you had Brees 25 for 36 for 346 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks.
Straight balling.
And Goff 28 for 40, 391.
Yeah.
And granted, he did throw that pick, but if it's not for that call by McAvoy to go for that fake field goal, and then if the kicker doesn't miss a field goal later in the game, you could make the argument that that's 45-45, possibly an overtime game.
Well, Sean McVay, in my opinion, did the right thing when he did the fake field goal to begin with. And I think he got that first down. That was bad.
It was.
And I don't know how they let that go on.
Go look at it. I'm going to try to get that in there. If I don't, I apologize. I'll try to get a still. But he makes that. He makes that.
He made it.
Okay.
And I think that would have changed the entire complexity of the game.
It would have. I'm not sure where some of these reviewing camera shots are coming from, but I saw it at home. He saw it at home. And I thought that Rams made the first down there.
What did you see?
Yeah, thank you. Now, here's the thing. There were absolutely no sacks on either side of the ball.
Everybody was balling.
Now, here's the thing. Everybody's been touting the Rams' defense all year. And rightfully so. They have some very, very nasty fellas on that front line. But the fact that there were no sacks, is that a testament to the O-line, or were the defenses outed this weekend?
From what Brian Baldinger says, the Saints have one of the best offensive lines in the league. I don't know. They railroaded the Redskins, so I can't even say. We have a pretty good defensive line. So I would say it's just people balling, and Breeze gets the ball out.
Yeah.
And he was running a little bit in that game.
He was running, but there was plenty of time. You saw he had plenty of time to find someone open.
I think they just had a bad. You can't say that they're. And Aaron Donald has 10 sacks. as a defensive tackle, you can't say he's garbage.
No.
Or he's out of it.
No,
like
in less than 10 games?
And Ndamukong Suh, he does what he does. He's been doing it for a long time.
Yes, he has.
So I don't think anybody's been out of it. I think just the line was just,
They played up to that. They played that well.
Yeah, they played well. It was a prime time matchup, and they came to play.
All right. So, anyone who's been following this week sees that the New Orleans Saints added Dez Bryant.
Right.
That's huge.
You think so?
I think so.
I think he's finished.
I don't think he's finished.
He's a bum.
He's not a bum.
That's what I think.
If nothing else, I think he takes pressure off of Michael Thomas and Traquan Smith, because now if you're a defending team, I can't double team these cats like I used to. I have to play man up because Bryant ain't no spring chicken, but he can still get open. He can still run that long distance down the field. He's got the height, and with someone like Drew Brees as a QB. I'm sorry. I think he just adds another element, if nothing else, and for distraction.
That's the only thing that scares me about this is that he's with Drew Brees. He didn't really have. He had Dakota Prescott, Mr. I Won't Kneel. Him. They had him at quarterback. Did you know the last 16 games he's played? Dak Prescott, I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Has played worse than EJ Manuel. He has worse stats than EJ Manuel in the last 16 games. So that's the only thing that scares me, is that he's with Drew Brees, and that was a good point, that he can throw him open.
Yeah. But
we'll see if Dez Idiot Bryant can actually learn the playbook.
Right. Now, staying on this weekend, a lot of focus has been on the Rams, and especially Gurley as an early favorite for the MVP of the year.
Right.
I think you can make a case for Alvin Kamara. If he's not there, I mean, come on. The second guy is Mr. Glass himself. Ingram. So, I mean, the man fumbled his first possession of the game.
He did. He almost broke his damn arm.
Yes, he did. You're not going to have this running attack, this two-headed monster of passing and running without Kamara. And Kamara's such a versatile back. I think you can make a case for him right now as a possible MVP candidate.
If he gets an MVP candidate, if he becomes the MVP, I'll stop watching football for 3 years. Now, you can make a case. You just made a great case for him being MVP. But he's not more important than Todd Gurley. He's not even the most important guy on his team. Drew Brees, it what makes that engine run.
Well, I again, agree to disagree, because here's the thing at the end of the day. The Rams can win without Gurley. They've been showing, especially if you looked at that game, that was all passing. I think Gurley got held to about, 60, 70 yards rushing for the day. The Rams are geared for a passing game. All right.
But the reason why the pass work is because the run works so well. Everybody's scared of Todd Gurley, reasonably so.
Yeah.
Reasonably so. What do you have? Like 16 touchdowns or
something like that.
Already?
Yeah.
I mean, the dude is ridiculous. And Sean McVay, man, he's the one that got away, man.
Yes, he
was a Redskins offensive coordinator, and we're stuck with Jay, head up my ass, Gruden. Yeah. Second worst football coach in the league right now. What's his name?
Jason Garrett.
Third then. Jason Garrett.
Who were you gonna mention?
What's the dude from Cincinnati?
Who's
still, I don't know how he
Marvin Lewis?
Marvin Lewis.
Wins in the regular season is winless in the playoffs. Yeah.
And he's like the second longest
tenured coach. Yes. I don't get it myself.
That's accept the mediocrity.
This is where, if you're a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I think you need to scream for change right now.
Leonard, I feel for you, buddy.
Yeah.
It's my cousin. He loves the name.
Big injuries on your Redskins.
Yeah. That's gonna plank our season. It's gonna plunk our season.
Big time, because you're talking about two of your starting guards, Brandon Scherf and Shaun Lavo. One with the shoulder, one with the knee, and of course your next game is Tampa Bay. Yeah. Fitz Magic.
They're gonna score like 60 on us. Shaun Lavo sucks, so I don't really care that he's gone. Brandon Scherf, we picked him 5th overall a couple of years ago. I was pissed.
Now you're loving it.
He was the best person to pick at that position.
He was.
But I was so happy we have him.
But unlike Eric Flowers, he actually learned something.
Yeah, he could ball.
Okay.
He could ball.
Where's Flowers now? Oh, yeah, Jacksonville.
Right.
What are they doing?
Jacking off.
Yeah, there you go. So, we finally have college basketball.
The worst sport ever, but...
No, not the worst sport.
But,
to me, it's the purest form of basketball you got. Less ego. Nobody's on there for top dollar. But this is their stepping stone into the NBA.
We're going to agree to disagree there, too.
Okay.
Because they're there for top dollar. That's exactly, they're getting paid. How you get three, number 1, 2, and 3, ranked going to the same school?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Well, that's just...
But I did watch this game.
Oh, Duke and Kentucky.
Oh, my goodness.
First of all, okay, it's the first game of the year, but Duke handled Kentucky.
Oh, my God.
Okay?
It's like playing against children.
118-84. I mean, god damn.
Every time you turned around. Like, you seen why those guys were ranked the way they were.
First of all, right now, I think you just make a case. Zion Williams is probably going to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft.
You think so? I was more impressed with Barrett. I thought Barrett was more impressive.
Barrett's impressive, but see, okay, let me correct myself. It depends on who's at the top. Cleveland, because they suck. But
go Knicks.
At the end of the day, no, the Knicks are too dumb to tank.
Tank for Zion.
Don't worry, my Bulls are too dumb to tank either. But we'll get into that in a second. All right. So yeah, you can make a case for Reddish. You can make a case for Barrett. I mean, Barrett was 33. 6 assists and 4 boards. He was balling. Zion was 28 with 7 boards, and then of course you had Cam Reddish, 22 points, 3 assists, and 4 steals. I mean, stealing is not as prevalent as it used to be in the NBA. So I actually like it when guards can just sneak up on someone or, out hustle someone man on man and get that ball and go the other way. That's all it takes. But
steals,
you don't see it as often as you used to.
No, you don't.
Okay.
People don't play defense.
So, I'll agree with you on one aspect. If someone definitely needs a guard with the first overall pick, then yes, RJ Barrett. But if you're telling me right now that if Cleveland, New York, or Chicago, just putting it out there, have that number 1 pick, do they really need a guard?
Yeah, we do. The Knicks do. We have Frank, the croissant dipping Ntilikina.
Okay, but you also got Burke. Okay,
he's 4 foot nothing.
Granted.
Yes.
Granted. Muggsy Bogues was 5'3".
He's no Muggsy Bogues.
I'm not saying he's Muggsy Bogues, but you bringing up height. I'm bringing up height.
Okay, no doubt.
Bugs was 5'3" and could ball his ass off.
Right.
Okay. All I'm saying at the end of the day is, if I got the first overall pick, guards, I don't need a superstar guard. I need a guard to control the game, to handle the offense, to pass that rock, and set up my players.
Okay.
I prefer a 3 or a 4 that can get down low. And if you look at someone like Zion, he's bigger than LeBron when LeBron came into the league.
He's huge.
He's a tank.
265.
That kid is a tank.
That's crazy.
Are you kidding me? If he works on his jump shot, that's a future All-Star.
I gotta say, he surprised me. I saw him, I've been watching him for years on YouTube and Instagram,
right,
dunking on 5-foot white kids, and I'm like, hey, that's not impressive. The dunks were impressive, but the competition wasn't.
Right.
But he surprised me. He bulked out.
And then if you were watching any of these summer camps that these kids were in, he was doing the same thing. Kids
I didn't watch it.
Even the exhibition games that some of these colleges were having up in Canada. I mean, damn.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. He's the real deal. But for my money, we drafted this dude Knox last year for all of that getting down in the paint stuff. We have, the oft injured Porzingis for all of that stuff. Give me Barrett. We need somebody who's gonna distribute the ball and could score from the guard spot.
Okay.
Get Tim Hardaway up out of here.
I'll give you that. But at the end of the day, Cleveland Cavaliers are winning that race right now with only 1 win.
Yeah, let's hope they pick Zion.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, if I was a Bulls fan, I'd want Zion too.
He looks ridiculous.
He is. So, real quick, New York Knicks, Chicago Bulls had their first matchup of the new year.
Yes,
And you know what? It's not the 90s. It's not Ewing and Oakley and it's not Jordan and Pippen. But there's still something about New York and Chicago. And for some reason, more often than not, no matter how bad these teams are, they give us a good show.
Overtime,
and
baby.
double OT, we treated to one hell of a show.
Yeah, man, it was nice.
Granted, it took Levine scoring 40 and a somewhat questionable foul at the end of the game.
Somewhat.
But I'll take it.
I bet you will.
At the end of the day, though, we're still stuck on 3 wins while your Knicks are on 4.
Right.
I think you're closer to 21 wins than we are.
That's true. This is true.
But again, this is where I just said these teams don't know how to tank. Cleveland knows how to tank. Send your coach to LA. Oh, I'm sorry, your best player. Also your coach.
Amen.
All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for your time again. As always, let us know what you're thinking. We've yet to hear from anybody. We want to hear from you. Hit that subscribe button too, and keep looking for us because we're going to keep doing this.
You play Monday night, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, you talking about San Fran and the Giants?
Yeah.
Well, San Fran seems to have found themselves a diamond in the rough with this third stringer, Trent.
Right.
I see it as San Francisco 28, Giants 3. We have a horrible offensive line.
Yeah.
Give me that offensive line that was blocking for Drew Brees. I guarantee you it's a different season.
Agreed. Redskins 17, Bucks 42.
I don't know if I'm giving Fitzmagic that much, but all right, I hear what you're saying. One more thing, touching on Dez to New Orleans. Keep an eye out. November 29th, that's the time that Dez is going to get his revenge on Dallas. New Orleans in Dallas on November 29th.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Oh, that's going to be beautiful.
And this is after they take that L on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? HTTR, baby.
Now, also want to hear your thoughts. When does Jason Garrett get fired? Or is he sucking Jerry Jones's cock too much?
I think he's doing both.
I think he is too.
All right, man.
Until next time, he's Dave.
And he's Dave.
This was the Sports Rant. Peace.
Peace.